Next, we're going to look at pivot table. And pivot table is when you have more than one variable, so two variables, and then we want to summarize based on those two variables. And we're going to use melt. We've already used melt before, okay, and then we're going to use cast. These are the two that we need to use, and we have to run library reshape. Okay, we'll do message equal to false. Okay, so we've done that, and so now we're going to not after that we're going to arrange using melt. Okay, now what we're going to see is we want to melt by rad and chas. Okay, so we can say melt bh dot df. Okay, previously when we did this, we did not specify which variable needs to be melted. Right, we just did it for the whole thing. So now we're going to specify of all the variables in this data frame, okay, we want to use only these variables for melting, and we do that by ID. So ID equal to, we say rad, comma chas. Okay. Now those are the only two variables that will be used for melting. All other variables will be ignored. So you'll only have, okay, rad and chas, and for each combination there will be a line in the melted data. Each value of rad, each value of chas. Chas is just 0 and 1. Rad is, I think there are about 6 or 7 values. So each combination will have a line, and then the value that we want to collect, the measure, okay, then you specify what is the measure. The measure that we want to use is medv, right? So if you run, so you get rad, each combination of rad and chas, and then the variable that we're using for measure and what that value is. Yeah. Now we need to capture that rad chas melt. Okay, so let's capture it there. Okay, so now we have the variable right here. Okay, so if you look at it, so you get each combination of those values and the statistic. Okay, and then now we're going to create a pivot table, okay, using cast. Okay, so cast. Okay, and here is the syntax for cast, the melted data, and then we need to specify a formula like this. Row variable will be used in the pivot table, what values should be used for the rows and what values should be used for column. So this will be our rad chas melt, right? And then we have the formula rad to be used as rows and chas to be used as columns. Okay, and then this is the basic code. And if you do that, then it will give you the different values of rad, and then okay, so these are the values 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 24, and then 0 and 1. And if you don't specify anything, it's going to be the summarization is assumed to be frequency. So how many observations fall into the each pair. Okay, and then you can specify a margin. Okay, if you say margin equal to, and then you can say, if you say grand row, there will be a grand row at the bottom. Okay, so which is the overall value for all the zeros of chess and all the ones of chess. Okay. Now, if you want column as well, then you have to give that as a vector like this. So grand row and grand column, and you need another bracket. So then that will give you row wise, okay, the grand value. So this is without specifying a particular function. Okay. If you do this, then you're going to just simply, since there is nothing specified, it's going to be the count, frequency. Now if you say median instead, okay, median comma, then median will be computed. Okay, so this is how you do it. Then you can give any other function here that you want.